We're here at the Wisconsin Clean Cities Expo, and we're here with Jon Krueger. Jon, talk about the vehicle behind you and what it means to, be able to deploy an electric vehicle in the field like that.
Oh, sure. Well, first of all, thanks for letting us be here. It's great to see a bunch of vehicles that are electrified and alternative fuels, but we really focus on the emergency response industry, especially the firefighter industry, because we found that there's a lot of instances of, a higher rate of cancer in firefighters. So when on scene, we found that a lot of vehicles are turned on, gas vehicles or ICE vehicles, and they're obviously emitting their emissions. And when you have first responders standing around, they can potentially breathe in that exhaust. So what we focused on was a vehicle that could be idle on a scene, operate all the lights, sirens, emergency equipment, electronics, but have zero emissions. And that's what we came up with. So we partnered with Rivian to develop two vehicles. One, the pickup truck with a small firefighting pump in the back, and then this vehicle that you see here, which is a command vehicle. So essentially a fire chief or a battalion chief can operate out of this vehicle either inside or behind the vehicle. And with the size of the battery, they could sit on scene for a couple of days with the HVAC running, heating, air conditioning, lights on, radios, essentially operating as an incident commander to make sure that the scene is safe. And the alternative benefits are that it's quiet. So you want to have a calm scene as well, one for the people that are working there, but also for your patients and some of the victims. So less noise, more calm, less emissions, healthier. So that's really what we focused on with this vehicle.
And everything on there, if it's running for days, it's running off of the high-powered battery, right?
Correct.
It's not like off of the 12-volt or anything. It's coming off of the main battery pack.
Yes, it is. So there is a 12-volt battery system on here. And radios. So you can essentially have the high voltage, which is up to 400 volts, and then you can have a 12-volt system for the radios and lights. And the auxiliary system is still powered by the main 400 volts through an inverter or whatever, but it does allow some separation for serviceability, and then you have more flexibility on turning stuff on and off.
How was Rivian involved? Obviously, the logo's on there, but were they involved in kind of getting you guys, the vehicles you need to make the different upgrades?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I've been following Rivian for many years, and I thought, man, that's such a great product. I really like the team. I like their strategy. So a few years ago, I was at their Palo Alto R&D. Just started talking to people and seeing really what they were building, and I just presented the question. I said, I have some background in emergency vehicle manufacturing. Is there any interest in us upfitting one? And they said, absolutely. We get a lot of requests for it. What a great application. And I said, okay, well, who do I talk to? And they presented me to their fleet team, which is focused just on events like this. We worked together to secure a couple of chassis. They presented them to me. I will say there are some challenges that we had with building this on the first one, because there weren't a lot of YouTube videos out there that said, all right, here's how you replace this, or here's how you do this. So it was we were pioneers in this space. But they were supportive if we had any questions. We wanted to make sure that what we were adding did not interfere with any safety or functionality of the core vehicle. Once we would get okay on certain things like light placement, radio placement, we would proceed and know that their warranty will stay in place, their safety features will stay in place, and we can move ahead with a functional vehicle like we have here.
Are these already, are they just on display, or are you just showing them off, or are there some in the field?
There are some in the field. We just delivered one last week to Albert Lea, Minnesota, a similar setup to this, and we have several more in production right now. Actually, the turnaround, we thought it would be a few years before adoption really took place, but there is a demand for these vehicles already, specifically in this capacity as a command vehicle that can, power all the equipment that they need, have no sound, no emissions, and really the maintenance side too we found is very minimal as well. So.
And I'm sorry to interrupt you there, but and charging and everything, same, from a level 2 in the shop to a fast charger if they need it?
Yep, absolutely. We try to make it as simple as possible. One port for charging the vehicle, just like any other electronic vehicle, level 1, 2, or 3. So they could be on the road using a level 3, they can be in their shop using a level 2, or at home they could use a level 1 portable charger. Our systems are integrated into their Rivian's electronics, so they only need one charger to kind of maintain all electronics, and that was our goal. Oftentimes in emergency vehicles you'll see a separate shoreline, they call it like an RV plug-in to charge 12-volt batteries, but ours is integrated.
All the other internal Rivian stuff, the assisted lane keep, all that stuff, nothing's really changed. You've just added on top of it, not replaced anything.
Correct. We're on a double lane highway. Rivian's got all of their stuff. We're just kind of along for the ride next to them. We don't want to affect any of their technology or software. In fact, we want to promote that and make sure that it stays exactly the way that they built it, because that's what they're really good at, and we just want to build on top of that. I come from a family who has used internal combustion engines, so when we started on this venture, we weren't sure where it would take us, and we really put these things to the test, especially in the winter. In 15 degrees below zero, we'd simulate a full shift, 8 hours, HVAC on, running all the lights, all the electronics, and once it would pass some of those initial tests, we thought, okay, this is a viable thing. But really what helped us is bringing it to, we've been to over 60 fire departments and had them test the vehicle, airports, some military bases even. Just give us your feedback. One, is it viable? And two, could you use it? Because it has to be functional first and then maintainable. So if it's not those two things, what's the point of doing it? So we've proven that it can do that. The other part is the safety aspect. These are highly rated IIHS Safety Plus vehicles, so we're already starting with a safe vehicle. And so all-encompassing, we want to make sure that our first responders are safe too and get to the scene safely.